So, David, I hear this new show coming up, the Fortean Slip.
You know, I don't know where these douchebags are coming from.
Steve Alcorn's a fine investigator. What he's doing with this Chris dude, I have no idea.
Christopher York is fucked up. The dude is seriously fucked up.
Put that on the show.
Yeah.
Go fuck yourself.
You harassed me to watch this piece of shit.
And ultimately a piece of shit it is.
And fucking listen!
I was going to make a lemming noise.
I was a fucking lemming.
I don't know. How do you explain those kind of things?
Aliens are actually time travelers from the future.
So don't worry, in the future, we're still ignorant bastards.
This show is going to be fucked up.
I'd like to tell you all this show is going to be good. But let's face facts. Hi! Welcome to the Fortean Slip. I am your jackass, unprofessional, amateur, petty bitch host. With me as always, Steve Alcorn.
Hi, Chris.
Hi, Steve.
Great to be here.
You sound fucking like you're tickled.
I am so happy.
And from bigfootcrossroads.com, Mr. Matt Knapp.
What's that?
What's up?
No, that's tickled right there.
That is tickled pink.
This is episode 12, Bigfoot Bounty, the quicker picker-upper, where we...
It makes me chuckle.
Does it?
Mm-hmm.
Where we take a look at the upcoming Bigfoot Bounty TV show on Spike TV. But...
Bigfoot Bounty.
Yeah, Bigfoot Bounty. That's why it's the quicker picker.
It doesn't ring a bell.
Yeah. It shouldn't. Because it just was announced that... No, actually, it wasn't just announced. They announced something about it a while ago.
The cast was just announced, pretty much.
Just announced.
Most of them, anyhow.
But yeah, we'll get into that. I've been watching this fucking Arrow on Netflix. And Matt, I fucking love this show.
It's a great show.
It is dark. It's everything that I want a fucking TV show about a comic book hero to be. I just...
It's everything Smallville should have been.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm only like... I don't think I'm as far as you, because you're into the second season, right?
Yeah, I'm at the current episode.
Okay, so I'm like almost halfway through season 1. And just... I mean, the guy that they got playing Green Arrow is just perfect, I think, in the role.
Yeah,
and
he does a really good job.
The characters around him. The guy that plays the father of Laurel.
Yeah, the cop.
Blackthorn, something Blackthorn. I can't think of his name. He played Harry Dresden in the short-lived Dresden Files series on Sci-Fi.
Yeah, Paul Blackthorn.
Yeah, Paul Blackthorn. And I love the Harry Dresden books by Jim Butcher. And I kind of like the show was... in comparison to the books, the show was shit. But I did enjoy the show. And I like him as an actor. And I think the dynamic between those two, and I don't know where that winds up later on or anything like that, but...
it gets even better.
Yeah, from what I've seen, it's really an interesting dynamic between the two of them. But I fucking love the show.
They eventually give him several opportunities to really expand his acting chops on the show
Paul
and
Blackthorne?
show his emotional range. Yeah.
Yeah, he comes off, and he's been in a bunch of different shit.
Yeah, he's been everywhere.
Yeah, but yeah.
So this is the part of the show where you guys talk about stuff that I have absolutely no clue about, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead. Carry on.
Okay. But yeah, and I was never into the Green Arrow. Like I read the Identity Crisis, which there's a couple of spots in that run where it focuses on a bunch of different superheroes.
Right.
And you get their perspective on the story, and the way they wrote him in that book. Was that Jeff Johns?
I think so.
Just great great interaction between the characters.
See, as a kid, I was always, whenever I was older, I became a Marvel guy. But whenever I was a kid, it was all about the DC heroes, because you had Justice League and, the Justice Society and all that. And I liked the character Green Arrow because he was an archer and, that's cool. But I never read the comic books. I think I picked up Kevin Smith's run on Green Arrow whenever he rebooted it or whatever.
Right.
And I read a couple of those, but I really didn't know that much about the character. I just liked him.
Right.
So now it's fun watching the series because, a new character comes along. You're like, okay, well, who is that? And you get to go back on the internet and look them up and like, oh, okay, that's such and such. Like, I don't want to ruin it, and
right, for
you and mention different characters that are on there, but there's lots of cameo appearances on that show.
And Steve, just so you understand, it would be like Robin Hood for you.
I'm a little bit familiar with Green Arrow. I mean, I've seen that stuff before, but it's been a long time.
Well, Steve kind of resembles the comic book Oliver Queen.
He does. He does have an Oliver Queen look to him.
All right, wait. Now, just because I dressed up in a ladybug costume, then you have to call me a queen.
I wasn't even going to mention that.
We weren't going there, Steve, but thanks.
You just called me a queen.
What did possess you to dress up in such a garb?
I was asked to be part of a fashion show, and, that's high fashion, and I'm waiting on the call from Paris now. So I should be making a trip soon.
The ladybug look is hot this winter.
It is.
Yeah. So anyway, Bigfoot Bounty.
The quicker picker upper.
Steve and I don't know if you want to talk about it, Steve.
Yep, go ahead.
But Steve and I were at one point in the, I guess you could say, quote unquote, running to be on the show.
Not together.
No, we both interviewed. I don't know if my partner wants anyone to know that they were involved, so I won't, talk about that. But I did go through the interview process, and what a pain in the ass that was.
Long, drawn out pain in the ass.
And I got into it at the end.
I got into it in the fall of 2012, like I think October.
When did it all start? Like when did you start finding out? Like, hey, they're looking for applicants for this show.
Like early 2013.
Right, I think you were like January, February, right? You were.
Yeah, that's when I'd gotten contacted by somebody to apply for it.
Well, the actual casting. Now, there's more than one phase to a TV production, and there's the beginning phase is like a research and development. I know they contacted a lot of people at that point. So a lot of people who are saying they turned down the show were the ones that they contacted way back, at the beginning maybe of 2012 or late 2011. So I know it's been going on that long. But the actual casting began like in the fall of 2012. And that's when all of us, ones that auditioned, got into it, started getting into it, and that went all the way up through what, February, March, I think.
Yeah, it went up through, because I had my interviews.
My first Skype interview was before Christmas last year.
Yeah, I only had the one.
See, I'm kind of iffy about all that. I turned the show down business.
I didn't turn the show down, Matt.
If somebody contacts you and says, hey, we're doing this show and we want you on it, and you're like, no thanks, that's turning them down.
Right.
But if they say, like, hey, we're doing this show and, would you be interested in, trying out for it, and you say no, that's not turning down the show. That's just not participating.
That's turning down the offer to participate in the interview process, basically.
Right. Now,
I know that they did originally contact some, researchers way back, and even some of them, they visited some of them, is what I was told, but maybe that's where that's coming from. I don't know. But if you actually got into the interview process, there was several Skype interviews, and you had to fill out paperwork. I don't know how much we can talk about what went on there, but you had to sign an NDA, all that kind of stuff. So unless you went through that whole process, you didn't turn it down. You just didn't. Right.
And I mean, it's been, probably 5 years at least or longer. There was a casting person or something, show producer, sending various people emails about a show. I don't know if I can actually name the show, but it's one of those shows where they swap wives and families.
Ah, cool.
And they were looking for Bigfoot people to be on the show. And, I mean, yeah, a lot of us got the emails and just deleted them because we weren't interested or whatever, but I wouldn't necessarily say I turned down the show.
Right. Well, I think, some of these people who are saying they turn it down, it just kind of makes them feel good that, hey, I'm not going to do this for money or whatever. Bigfoot shouldn't be a competition. Well, I wrote, I'm going to put a shameless plug in for my blog, sasquatchscoop.com, but I wrote an article yesterday. The whole fucking Bigfoot world is a big competition. I mean, that's all it is. It's all it's ever been. And the Four Horsemen keep getting mentioned, Peter Byrne and Renee DeHinden, and who were the other two, Matt? I can't remember right offhand. John Green and Grover Krantz. Those guys fought like crazy. It was a big competition to them. You know?
I mean,
so going back to the beginning, it's always been a competition, and it's always been, a lot of it's been about money. Those guys all wrote books, those guys all appeared on TV. So how is, in my opinion now, I don't know if your guys' opinion is the same, but how is Bigfoot Bounty any different than that? And if you're watching it for the entertainment value first, just like finding Bigfoot. That's not real research, that's just TV research, and then the research second. So
it's a reality show. If anybody wants to think it's anything different than a reality show, they are sadly mistaken. It's just a reality show. It happens to be about Bigfoot research. I mean, I'm not gonna say, I'm not gonna make any statements about the show. Either way, I don't know. I wasn't on it.
No, neither was I. But I can, as far as our perspective of knowing what went down before the show, before all the casting and all that, I think we have a little bit more insight than these people who are just, I'm not going to watch a show because it's a competition. You know what I mean?
Right. And I mean, it was a drawn out process.
Oh my God.
And waiting for it, and then having like the casting company. Like I remember towards the end, I had the casting company call me, and one of the people told me that I was going to be going, but they were wrong, or they had misspoke. They thought they were talking to the wrong person. Whatever. And I had to call somebody else, and they're like, "No, you're just still, in it. You gotta just hang tight." And, you know, it was kind of stressful waiting because they expected you to just fucking be ready to go. I mean, ready to fucking go. Like, I found out like a couple of days before the casting was being done out in LA that I wasn't going.
Well, see, you know, with behind the scenes stuff on other reality shows, you know, that follow the same kind of recipe, that seems to be the case across the board, is they keep the contestants in the dark as much as possible, and then whenever it's time to go, you've got like 24 to 48 hours to get your stuff together and leave.
Yeah.
And then it's just go, 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 so you don't have time to, you know, leak any information or whatever.
I can tell you that as far as leaked information goes, these Spike or the production company or whoever is very, very tight with what gets put out there. So you have to be careful about what you say, and if you say something that they don't like, they will let you know about it. So
I wouldn't know.
Right. You wouldn't because you didn't prep for the show. But
as far as the Bigfoot community is concerned, to me it's similar to, like, I don't know, Les Stroud and Bear Grylls bitching about Survivor.
Right.
And, like, boycotting that show because it's a competition and survival skills are somewhat involved in the show. I don't know what Bigfoot Bounty is going to be like, but I don't understand why everybody's expressing all this hatred towards something that hasn't even aired yet.
So, Matt, you were around, you know, when Finding Bigfoot first came out. Was there as much of an uproar at that time about that show?
There was a little bit, but it wasn't as public.
Okay.
There was an incident where I don't want to get myself in trouble. There was an incident where some things were misrepresented on the show, which one could borderline as a hoax.
Yeah, I'm familiar with the story.
Right. So a lot of people kind of threw a fit about that. But it wasn't just like, we're boycotting the show or anything like that. And that's another thing I don't understand where the problem is, because if it's a television show, it's entertainment. Like, television shows, no matter what the content is, it's about ratings and making money. That's why they put it on television. And to say that, well, we're going to boycott the show, or I'm against the show because it's going to misrepresent the research community and make us look stupid, but I watch Finding Bigfoot every week.
Right.
Okay, well, Finding Bigfoot's doing the same thing, except they don't make it a competition. The documentaries, even, you know, the documentaries are produced and put on television to garner ratings and make money.
Well, look at that Bigfoot Files, and then what did they call it? Bigfoot Further Evidence when it went to National Geographic.
Yeah.
That show was fucked up. I mean, they had all the facts wrong and everything about that show. I mean, whether they found bear or not is not the point, but they, you know, it was all misrepresented, and it made the editing made the Bigfoot research community look pretty damn stupid.
Well, then back in the day, the big Nat Geo documentary on Bigfoot, you know, it had Janice Carter reenacting her moment with Fox asking him for garlic at her back porch out of her trailer. I mean, yeah, we look stupid regardless. And every show that puts Bigfoot researchers in the spotlight, like, yeah, we're going to look stupid. But I don't think it's as much of they're portraying us the wrong way as they're just exploiting certain aspects of us that are true.
Right. And I don't know if you want to talk about any of the cast members, but there was a complaint about Rictor, and what does being gay have to do with Bigfoot research? And I talked to Rictor yesterday a lot, and he was pretty upset about that complaint because he said, you know, he's representing who he is on the show, and if, you know, it might bring more people into Bigfoot research, even if the show is silly, which, you know, they edit it that way. But there's a lot of people out there who, you know, it might bring some more diversity into the Bigfoot community. You know,
what does being an ignorant homophobic asshole have to do with Bigfoot research?
Right.
I mean, I know what you're talking about, and you know, I was ashamed of that. You know?
I was kind of ashamed of it too, and I, without naming names, I have always admired the guy who said it. I've always thought he was a pretty stand-up guy, but I was pretty upset because I did listen to that blog talk show, which will not be named, but yeah, I thought, you know, complaining about somebody's sexuality and what does that have to do with Bigfoot research? I think it has everything to do with it. It's who he is, you know, it's who Rictor is. So, whatever, you know. And
well, from an actual field researcher aspect, you know, there's nothing wrong with sitting there and talking about how women tend to get better results than men in the field. Or,
right.
I mean, just yesterday, we were just talking about this. Matt Moneymaker made a post, you know, about finding a group of women similar to this other one and taking them out into the field, and people like to have women in the field with them. Well,
I do.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, who doesn't?
Saying.
Well, hell, who doesn't?
But I'm just saying, and I'm not calling Rictor a woman, okay? Like, let's make that clear. But I'm just saying that's because of the concept that a Bigfoot, especially a male Bigfoot, would react differently to a woman because of the fact that they do read body language. Just, you know, it's different than men. It's a subordinate type person out there. So Rictor is in every sense a man, but he's going to come across body language wise differently. His energy is going to be different. Just like if you go out into the woods with that predator mode, you're probably not going to see any animals. So I would be interested in just that aspect of Rictor being out there doing research.
I think so too. I think it'll be interesting to watch. knowing a lot of the folks that are on the show, you know, I think it'll be very entertaining at the very least, you know. And if you're looking at it that way, I think that's how you have to look at a reality show. You don't look at it. I mean, even Survivor, it's entertainment. It's not reality. It's not. There's nothing real. There's nothing real about a reality show. Look at fucking Honey Boo Boo. That can't be real. You know. Well, although I do know some people.
You just ruined my world. What the fuck?
Sorry.
But is that a good example of the, you know, children's beauty pageant circuit, Honey Boo Boo?
I think it could be. I think, you know, it's an exaggerated example of what really goes on. Exactly. But a lot of that stuff does go on, right? So whether the show represents us as a bunch of yahoos out in the woods looking for an unknown ape or whatever.
But that's what we are.
But that's what we are, you know? So, and then I think a lot of people are up in arms about Justin Smia being on the show too. Why, I have no clue. I think, you know, Spike TV saw the benefit of somebody who's allegedly killed a couple Bigfoots, or killed at least one Bigfoot, you know. They saw the potential in the ratings, obviously, but, you know, who better to put out there than somebody who claims to have killed a Bigfoot, right?
But there's... Okay, where was the problem with bugs and the bug story?
Right, everybody... You know, I've heard
with Michael Humphreys, who's still in the Bigfoot community and well respected. Him and his brother said that they shot one. The bug story was widely accepted. Yeah,
I've never heard that many people against the Bugs story. So what is the difference between Bugs killing a Bigfoot and Justin killing a Bigfoot? I've never understood
Justin
that.
looks like Larry the Cable Guy.
That's got to be it. I mean,
it must be
That's what it is.
because yeah.
I mean, it's not like somebody saying that they shot a Bigfoot is like a new thing for the community.
Right.
And like I said, you know, there's a man in Oklahoma who claims his brother shot one and he was right there and they had a big standoff with a whole group of them, and he's still an active member in the community. He's still respected as an honest man and a guy that knows his stuff.
Right. You know, I'm going to make a guess right now that those who say they're not going to watch this show secretly will watch this show.
Oh, of course they will.
And then we'll hear from them on how
one in particular will definitely watch the show that says he's boycotting.
Of course.
And I'm not going to say that person's name, but he might live in Mississippi and his middle name or last name or whatever it is might be a month of the year.
April?
Close.
Close. June.
Yes.
I think I'm kind of going right around the last name.
Yeah. But honestly, I think a lot of that, and I'm not going to say it's all the way across the board.
It's still real to me, damn it!
But
thank you, Mr. Alcorn, for saying what needed to be said.
I think while there's some people that are sincere about it and are truly outraged by it for their own personal reasons, I think the majority of people that are now speaking out against the show before it's even freaking aired are people that are just bandwagon elitist assholes. I think that's all it's about.
I mean, I respect some of these people who are speaking out against the show as far as their research goes, but to make judgments on something that you haven't seen yet is kind of, you know, wrong to me. I might not even like the show. I might think it's a good thing that I didn't make it, you know?
Yeah, the show could suck.
Right. Well, you know, I don't think it's going to. I think it's going to be hugely entertaining, knowing Rictor the way I do, and Dax, and Justin and Roe.
I've been squatching with Dax. Squatching with Dax is a fucking... it's a hoot. Let me tell you.
Right. So,
well,
knowing these people, I know the show is going to be hugely entertaining, if nothing else.
I will tune in just for the fact of Rictor and Dax being on there. I mean, I'm interested in the show anyways because I'm interested in the subject. And yeah, Roe and Justin are cool, but
well,
I mean, Dax carries lightsabers anywhere he goes.
Yeah.
And there's a good chance lightsabers will be on this show.
And they'll swing them around at any given fucking moment.
Yeah. Before any of the elitist Bigfoot researchers out there want to bitch about that, go fuck yourselves for hanging glow sticks in trees. It's the same thing.
Basically the same thing. Although the glow sticks don't make the cool noise that the
right. You don't get to sit there and swing around at people.
So we also have Mr. Prime on the show, Snowwalker. What do you think about that, Chris?
Your pal? Your buddy?
Not my pal. Snowwalker Prime, Michael Merchant.
In my opinion, the barefoot douchebag. Hey, whatever floats him, I guess. I'm not a fan, but
no. Used to be.
Obviously, yeah, in a way, I was, I guess, at one point in time, but yeah, no, I'm good.
You know, I wish Mr. Merchant nothing but luck on the show, but I think that his appearance on this show
and by luck, Steve means falling in a creek.
Maybe he'll catch a turtle or something and eat it. I don't know. But I think the show will bring out the side of Michael Merchant that a lot of us really know. At least I hope it does. So, That's enough about him.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I swear to God, if Google Hangout asks me one more fucking time if I'm still there.
How the fuck long have you been in? It takes like an hour for that to happen.
Shit. And on that note, Steve, don't you have some fucking news?
I actually do have some fucking news. I talked over the news intro. That's probably not very professional of me.
It's fine if you talk.
What's new, Steve?
Sorry, Joe. I do have some fucking news, actually.
Good.
Mystery humans spiced up ancient sex lives.
As they should have.
This is from nature.com, so it's got to be really good. Because nature.com is reputable, unlike some of the other news sources that I tend to use. Updated genome sequences from 2 extinct relatives of modern humans suggest that these archaic groups bred with humans, and with each other more extensively than was previously known. The ancient genomes, one from Neanderthal and one from a member of an archaic human group called the Denisovians, were presented on the 18th of November at a meeting on ancient DNA at the Royal Society in London. The results suggest that interbreeding went on between the members of several ancient human-like groups in Europe and Asia more than 30,000 years ago.
As well as members that attended the party.
Including an as-yet unknown human ancestor from Asia.
Oh my God! Melba Ketchum had it right.
Highly doubtful. What it begins to suggest is that we're looking at a Lord of the Rings type world. That there were many hominid
Cave trolls and elves.
Says Mark Thomas. An evolutionary geneticist at University College London who was at the meeting but was not involved in the work. The first published Neanderthal and Denisovian genome sequences revolutionized the study of ancient human history, not least because they showed that these groups bred with anatomically modern humans, contributing to the genetic diversity of many people alive today. And that's sex with ancient humans.
You know, that would have been one hell of a party to attend.
Yeah, they were all playing like Kamina Barada.
And we have some sad news tonight, and I've got this one from foxnews.com, but it's been widely reported. Celebrity psychic Sylvia Browne dies at age 77.
She didn't see that coming?
Celebrity psychic Sylvia Browne, famous for her appearances on shows like Unsolved Mysteries and Montel Williams, died on Wednesday at the age of 77, according to her website. No cause of death was given.
And she is now in communication with John Edwards.
A beacon that shined for so many years was extinguished today, but its brightness was relit and will now shine forever for many of us from above, Montel Williams said in a statement on...
He also said, I love my weed butter.
I, like so many of you, lost a friend today, but as has been for the last 20 years, she'll always remain a part of me. My thoughts and prayers...
Are you reading between the lines here?
My thoughts and prayers go out to Sylvia's family at this time of loss, according to Montel.
Montel hit that. What?
A message on Browne's Sylvia's Facebook read, Sylvia graduated today. She was surrounded by family and friends. What a legacy. She shared so much. We will carry on her knowledge with Hypnosis and Journey of the Soul and her many books. What a great party they must be having on the other side. Bless everyone. Browne published more than 50 books, 22 of them appearing on the New York Times bestsellers list. She was also consulted in several missing persons cases over the years and was often criticized for her predictions, including one involving Cleveland kidnapping victim Amanda Berry. Browne told Berry's mother she was dead, when in fact Berry had been held prisoner by Ariel Kestrel for 10 years before being found alive last May. Browne grew up in Kansas City, Missouri before moving to California in 1964. In 1974, she founded the Nirvana Foundation for Psychic Research.
Founded
And in
Nirvana?
Kurt Cobain.
Holy fuck.
And in 1986, she formed the nonprofit organization Society of Novus Spiritus. Browne survivors include her husband, Michael Ulrey, sons Christopher and Paul Dufresne, and 3 grandchildren, Angela, Jeffrey, and William, and a sister, Sharon Bortolucci, according to her website.
And we are all sorry how your names were pronounced.
Yes.
Sorry, Mr.
Apologize.
Brown, about saying Montel banged your wife.
And in our final story tonight, and this comes from our friends over at whofortedblog.com.
It was Chris.
It always is.
Ghost hunters charged with massive blaze that destroyed a historic plantation.
It was Chris.
7 ghost hunters were arrested in Louisiana yesterday after accidentally setting fire to a turn-of-the-century plantation, burning it to the ground. The suspects told police they were visiting the historic home to search for ghosts after hearing stories about the building's alleged hauntings. Fox 8 News reported that at some point during the evening, the men abandoned their paranormal investigation to get fucked up on some cheap beer and dank weed. I think that's paraphrased, by the way.
Dank weed.
Dank weed, but cheap beer. Okay.
That's when things got a little out of control. Police responded to the scene around 2 a.m. Friday morning, but by that point the plantation was fully engulfed in flames. All 7 men, ranging between the ages of 17 and 31, were arrested and charged with arson, burglary, and criminal damage over $50,000.
Way to go, boys.
Luckily, no one was harmed in the blaze.
Why didn't they just blame it on like a poltergeist?
They could have. Now, there's an update to this. And Dana of Who Forted writes, even more news about the St. Bernard Parish plantation that burned to the ground early Friday morning. The men who have been formally charged with the crime apparently set fire to the mansion because they were frustrated at the lack of paranormal activity taking place. Authorities have officially announced that the blaze was not an accident, but was actually intentionally started with stacks of wood. They were in there looking for ghosts, drinking, smoking dope, and for some reason they made a decision, a conscious decision, before they left to set this building on fire.
Yeah. So there's disgruntled Bigfoot researchers causing all the California wildfires each year.
That quote was from James Sheriff. I can't pronounce his last name. The fire has left other paranormal enthusiasts furiously shaking their heads. This new information will surely continue to fuel discussions about the responsibility ghost hunters should take when visiting historical sites around the country.
Don't intentionally light the place on fire.
Is it the fault?
I think that's a given. Anywhere you go for anybody, no matter what you're doing.
Pretty sure you're not supposed to light shit on fire.
And if you guys like that story, go ahead and check out whofortedblog.com and our friend Greg and Dana over there. And that's the news, fellas.
And that's the news.
Good. I want to make a public apology to Sylvia Browne's family.
They know.
Yeah.
They already know.
Okay. Oh, yeah, you did.
We don't know.
We're clueless.
Fucking never know. This is the most uninformed fucking paranormal podcast, whatever you want to call it. Webcast.
Yeah.
We try to act.
Bigfoot Bounty. The quicker picker up. I like that. Whoever came up with the name.
Someone stole me Bigfoot Bounty.
I like Brawny better. But Bigfoot Brawny doesn't sound as good. I think it's time to get medicated.
Wow.
Oh, that was on the air?
Steve's going to be checking into another treatment program soon.
Let's set this podcast on fire.
Fire bad.
It burned down a long time ago.